All cheerleaders hate this, and today we're going to show you what that is and how you can get past it.
Alright guys, you're back with Jackson and Cody.
If you guys have any questions about any of these skills we're doing, hit us up on Instagram. We've had a few of you guys been contacting us, which has been awesome because we've been able to help you out, and it's really cool to also see your guys' progress through all the skills that you guys are getting. So yeah, hit us up on Instagram, stunt.culture, and we'll get back to you and hopefully we'll be able to help you.
So what we're going to try and do today is go over one of my more hated things, and I'm guessing most cheerleaders out there.
Yes, definitely. There's probably an exception, there's probably a few that don't, but a lot of cheerleaders struggle with what we're about to work on, and I think we could probably help a lot of cheerleaders out there by covering this.
I'll give you a hint. It starts with S, rhymes with standing tumbling. So it sucks, it's hard on the body if you're not doing it right, and if you don't condition your body for it, it gets even harder, and then people just end up leaving it out of their training and rely on all that momentum from their running.
And also, you want to try not to just add more steps going into your standing tumbling to achieve a skill. You're better off to do it from standing, perfect that technique, and learn to create that power from standing without stepping into it. And then when you need the standing later on, once the skills get harder, or if you just want to aim to get more height so you can make the skill easier, then if it's required, you can add in those steps for the routine. But try to do all these skills from standing without stepping into them, so then later on you can just add that in.
So with this video, guys, it's probably going to be a little bit of a chit chat sesh, but we're going to demonstrate and explain it a little bit more thorough. But biggest thing that I can touch base on with the standing tumbling is learning to push your momentum in the direction that you want it to go, to then take a lot of the pressure off the joints and your body. So a lot of people tend to use their hips too much in their hamstrings. So when they do push, their hips come up, which drives their body in an archy sort of position, and then their momentum goes up. You want to be thinking about pushing all your momentum backwards, and to get that, you need to get a straight line from your toe to your fingertips. So in the start of the handspring, you'll rather than throwing and rocking through your heels and then your hips coming forward and coming up like this,
which is very common.
Which is not good. You don't want to be doing that. You want to be pushing through your toe and extend from your toe to your hip to your shoulder, so that all that momentum is traveling backwards. If you were to film your back handspring in slow-mo from the side, no part of your back no part of your body wants to be going in that direction. You want everything to be going the direction that the tumble pass is going. So I'll show you that now. And that's the difference. So just really focusing on that at the start, before you try and do any difficult skills in your standing tumbling pass, make sure you master that, and make sure you get that backward momentum going through the handspring. All right, quick exercise for that, guys, is box jumps, but backwards. So rather than focusing on jumping forwards and getting our hip drive up over our toes, we're going to be pushing through our toes and extend our hips up behind us. So I'll show you that now. Swing arms up, push. Okay, you want to be getting that real fast toe drive and squeezing your glutes and extending your body as tall as you can, making sure you're getting that backward momentum. Obviously, because you want to make it up onto the box, but also because it really ingrains that push through your toes, lifting your heels and extending through that shape through your leg. So I'll show you again. Push. Push. And now we'll do a drill.
So what are we doing now, Jackson?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Is this the drill?
Yes, this is the drill. So you've probably seen this a bunch through our videos. We use it a lot. We use this drill quite a lot. It's very effective, very important. This is the sit, smack, jump back on into your dish. If you have some mats like this, I recommend doing this as much as you can for your standing tumbling and for your standing handsprings especially. So this really helps get into that shape, pushing from your toe and getting that nice straight line, holding all the way through that dish. You want to be focusing on learning how to do the sit and the fall through the handspring and then extending back up. A lot of people tend to want to throw their hips forward, like I said before, so they'll sit, then they'll sit more, and then they'll throw their hips up, and then that's when they get that arch through their lower back. So you want to be focusing on like getting that sit and then extending straight. I didn't actually do that properly, but it probably still worked out because I squeezed. So now I'll actually I'll put a bit of gumption on it.
Also, that throw up from the hips and throwing chest back becomes very obvious when doing it on the mat. That's another reason we do it, because obviously you're slamming your body into the mat rather than popping your whole body up and over.
It's a wide angle, you don't need to like.
And hold it with like.
I can just see Cody doing this. I'm like, bro.
And I'm holding it with like 3 fingers as well.
It gets you. Hey,
this last finger's not even on it.
Hey, hold it. So I'll show you again, but I'll put a little bit of gumption on it. A little bit of gumption.
Okay. No one wants to see that.
And that is the effect that we were after, ladies and gentlemen.
That was nice.
That slide, that momentum, that push, you want to be really, really, really trying to chase that. And then once you've got that, and then that's really consistent, really strong, then is that, whew, it's bright. Then what you want to do is, then you take that hip drive and you apply that hip drive up. So you obviously don't want to do it too much. So if I was to jump back like that and then not apply that hip drive and stretch through my shoulders, I would backward dive headfirst into the ground, which you don't want.
No, it's not much fun.
No, it's not. But yeah, here it is. Sit, push through my toes, reach through my shoulders, and then I'm gonna squeeze my glutes and my core, and I'm gonna drive my hips up to get that that lift and that flicking motion through my back handspring. Good. The next thing that I want to talk about is stepping into your standing tumbling. Now, I do it, I coach it. It is very helpful, but you don't want to overuse it because it does take away a lot of the power through technique. Learning to develop power through keeping your technique is really important, and stepping does take away a little bit of the need for technique. It just adds that momentum and you can kind of cheat it a little bit.
But if you maintain that technique.
But if you can do the technique strong and maintain it, and then add the steps, you can really, really assist your standing tumbling. And a lot of cheerleading programs and teams choreograph this into their routines, so it's really vital to learn. I teach step, step, slide, so it doesn't really matter what foot you step on first. You can do either, or depending on your team or program, whatever situation you're in, the whole team might do left foot first, vice versa. But I tend to go left, right, together.
So we just filmed a good 5-minute chunk, and Jackson came over and turned the camera off, so we didn't get any of it.
No.
No.
Alright, so it was in slow-mo,
no?
and then I fixed it, and then I gave the camera back to Cody, and he didn't press record.
He turned it off, and I didn't think he had played with anything, because he said, no, it doesn't matter that it's in slow-mo. We can keep it in slow-mo. So I assumed that he hadn't changed anything.
Stupid boy.
But he did. He changed one thing. He turned it off.
I took it out of slow-mo.
No, you didn't. You
Yes,
said
I
it's
did.
fine. Keep it in slow-mo.
No.
Let's
Cool,
go
so
again.
you're going to do this whole section now, yeah?
Definitely not.
Alright, so basically what I was just explaining was stepping, why it's important to both train and avoid at the same time. No, I'm kidding. Stepping into your standing tumbling is a really good way to develop power and learn how to focus on your technique. It just takes a bit of the edge off. It doesn't require as much strength through your standing tumbling because it gives you that momentum. But it also is really, really, really good to train without stepping because you need to be able to learn to push through that momentum, develop that momentum and that angle from standing, because when you do it with steps, you've got that momentum. So then when you extend, your body's naturally going in the direction that you want it to. But to create that movement through standing is quite difficult, which is why we use that amazing wedge drill over there, because it teaches you to fall, extend, and push in that direction. When doing that drill, we don't ever get our hips up, or we don't ever reach through our shoulders, which is crucial when doing the standing handspring, and getting that open shape to that closed shape is what really develops your momentum. So reaching through that handspring and then snapping hollow over the top, that's what's gonna help pick up the pace. I'm gonna show you 2 different types of back handstrings now. One, I'm gonna land with my bum out and my feet down, and one, I'm going to adjust my pelvic tilt. I'm gonna get my hips underneath me, my toes will come through, my chest will pop up, and then it will extend. That's the one that we wanna be chasing, that's the one we wanna be using. A lot of people tend to stick their bum out and pike down, and then they have to yeet their chest up, and it's not very good technique. It ends up slowing your tumbling down a lot, and it doesn't really help you like get that good pop and extend up through the second part of your back handspring.
Would you say this is the most common reason that people lose power in their tumbling?
Oh, 100%.
Especially the sitting tumbling?
Yeah, 100%. And a big thing is that people tend to drop through their shoulders. So when their hands touch, that happens. Okay? So you need to be squeezing your arms up next to your ears and then really opening up through your shoulders, allowing that stretch to then block through the top, not pushing this way. We don't want to be pushing away from ourselves. We want to be pushing through the top and snapping hollow. So I'll do the Nelly no naughty way first. It's a bit cheeky.
Oh, that was nice.
Not on my back.
That was good double handspring.
Do you know what I'm worried though?
What's that?
I'm worried after doing little Betsy Disco Ninjas program last night that my actual good one's gonna look like that too.
You need to rely on your technique more to hit this now.
Alright. Stretching through my shoulders, opening up through my hips, squeezing my core, not bending through my lower back. I'm really gonna pop and then adjust my pelvis, get it really under, like try and aim my bottom to the ground as much as I can, kind of like aim it at my heels, but don't bend my legs. My toes are gonna come through, then I'm gonna extend as much as I can.
That did look a little better.
A little better. A bit old and broken though. I'm gonna touch base on the steps now, guys.
So just first to throw this out there, the steps are good if you maintain your technique through the standing tumbling.
Yes.
What a lot of people do
They
is...
tend to do this. The momentum get and then
Yeah.
rather than actually extending up through the handspring.
Yeah, so then they're just driving their momentum into the ground, which actually makes it harder to create power or like build the power up.
I'll show you doing it properly with like powerful steps now so you can see. It's a big difference. Really you extend up. It's making sure, the biggest thing that I can kind of like simplify it down into one sentence. As you're going into the back handspring, stand back up. People tend to just sit, throw themselves into the ground. Like whatever you're doing in your back handspring, wherever you are, whatever you're about to do, make sure you stand back up. Extend. Stand up, make your body straight from toe to fingertips.
You should feel light, like you're skimming across the ground, not like you're throwing your body down into the ground.
All right, stepping. Whew. Stepping is important to learn, not because I think you should learn it, because it's going to help you. It will, but every program uses it. If you're in a team, like it's going to get choreographed in there somewhere at some point in your standing tumbling, in your tumbling career as a cheerleader, or mostly as a cheerleader. So I'm going to teach you how I do it. It's not necessarily how your program does it, but this is what I've been taught, and what I've learned, and what I've been comfortable with. You can step with either foot first, depending on your program, what team you're on. But I go left, right, together. Now the little shuffle allows your body to get on the angle where you can then sit and then drive more power through that sit and extend through the back handspring. Or you can keep your chest up and just have extremely fast toes. A good friend of mine does it like that. His name is Dylan Grant. Check him out. He's an incredible tumbler. He tends to keep his chest up and he's got really fast toes. He pushes and extends. I tend to do it a little bit differently, but that just goes to show that there's multiple ways of doing it, which are still effective. I tend to like drag my toes behind me and drive through and sit through that momentum, kind of like you're doing a standing back handspring, so then the technique for me doesn't change. I just add momentum to it, so sit, push, as you can see.
I like it. So, do you reckon you could finish this off by showing everyone a wonder double?
A wonder double? I hate you so much. Okay, one.
Okay.
But if I eat it, that's on you.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I can live with that.
A big thing with standing tumbling too is talking about that pelvic tilt, getting your hips under That's creating backward momentum. When you're doing skills like a 2 to tuck, 2 to lay, 2 to full, 1 to double, you need to adjust that blocking angle. You don't want to be adjusted. You don't want to be getting your pelvis under and getting your toes in underneath you, because that's going to send you back. You want to be leaving your toes behind you in a nice strong shape, standing tall, squeezing your core. If I land this, guys, you need to like, sub, maybe hit the bell if you're feeling a bit lucky.
And let us know if you're enjoying these videos and what sorts of videos you want us to cover in the future.
Leave a comment down below if you've got a skill you want to learn and want us to touch base on. Woo! I haven't done that in a while. Thanks for watching, guys.
See you in the next video.